everyone, this is Marianne from Revealing Light Tarot, Astrology, Spirituality. I'm giving you a bit of a break from the heaviness of the Ukraine readings, and we're taking a drive out to a very special place today. It's a place called Lake George. It's got a lot of mystery about it. It's considered quite a special landscape by the Aboriginal peoples. For me though, it's quite an interesting spot because I used to drive this road, which is going toward Canberra every day. Oh, not every day, most days anyway, for about 8 years. And of course I had to go via Lake George. And I saw some really strange things during my travels, often very early in the morning and very late at night. You could be driving and there would be rainfall, and then it'd be like you drive through a curtain and it's stunning sunshine all in the one drive there. So energy wise, I want to look at it today. We'll do a reading if we can, if there's an opportunity to pull some cards on the energies of Lake George. But I did want to just give you a bit of a break and do a bit of vlogging. It's good for us to get out as well, out, and particularly out into nature. Now, I was just saying to Eric that sometimes you don't realise how powerful that sky is, but looking at it through the viewfinder, it's just immense, really, when I think about it and look at it. So it's such a beautiful sky there in front of us, and captured on this lens. You'll see to the left a ridge line, which is basically on this side of the lake, and then the lake kind of pans out to the left of the screen as we come up on it. It's a lake that's rarely got any water in it, and then sometimes in some seasons you'll find that you'll get some water, and at the moment, or more recently, there was quite a lot of water in it. At one point in the history of Lake George, they actually subdivided it. When our veterans came back from World War II, they set up a scheme called the Soldiers' Settlement Scheme, where they gave parcels of land to veterans to become farmers. And a lot of Lake George, because it was dry at the time, was given to the veterans as soldier settlement blocks. But then, of course, there are times when there's a lot of water in it. So I'm just going to take you across here, and you'll see the ridge line and then the lake bed there. Again, you can still see a lot of this used for farming. And you will see the remains of the old fences there from, I guess, the 40s, 50s, possibly even the 60s. I was talking about the mystery of Lake George. There has been some people that have been in the history of the lake have gone out boating when it does have water in it. For whatever reason, they have perished in their boats. And nobody really knows why that has occurred. So again, it's just got this mystery. If any of you know the film, it's an older film, I think in the 70s maybe, Picnic at Hanging Rock down in Victoria, a particular rock formation area where a group of schoolgirls just disappeared. Nobody knows what happened to them. Lake George has kind of got that vibe. I'm just going to swing you around to the ridge here. And yeah, we're going to try and get to the top of the ridge and give you a look out over the lake. Okay, I just want to quickly deal with some myths around Lake George. The first one is missing bodies. So 13 people have died at the lake, including some Duntroon Defence Force cadets whose bodies were never found. Another myth is that it's a hyper area for alien UFO type of activities, and also ghostly hitchhikers. Can you believe that? People saying that they've seen these ghostly hitchhikers. Anyway, most of these myths don't really hold up to fact. Although I do need to say that Lake George, when it's full, and it's rarely full, is one of the largest freshwater lakes in Australia. So despite its mystical status, it's a beautiful lake. Hi everyone, we've stopped, as I said, in the little village of Gundaroo at a camping ground. You can see the old buildings behind me. There's a men's shed here, there's a scouts hall, and there are various campers here in their motorhomes, somewhere that they can stop off and do their free camping, or if you're in the UK, I think it's called, is it wild camping? Anyway, it's got a nice vibe about it. I'm listening to birds. I'm seeing a lot of dragonflies flying about, butterflies. You know, this is an environment after the heavy deluge that our east coast of Australia copped. This is a very pleasant, peaceful environment for me, particularly given that we live on the edge of that floodplain. So just to get away from that, away from the news and the tragedy that we're seeing across the world, away from the fear or, you know, the panic, the angst, away from everything, away from even the trolls. And we've got the Knight of Pentacles just jumped out. You know, that talks about steadiness, stability. You know, it's an energy I associate well with an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, Taurus, but particularly Taurus, because Taurus doesn't like to go too fast. Taurus goes quite slowly and surely and steadily, and makes sure that each step that is taken is not, I guess, a huge risk, because they're Taurians. They strive to understand, and you can't do that if you're going at breakneck pace. If you slow things down, you then come to maybe different conclusions than what you would do if you were rushing around, seeking to solve, seeking to know what's in the future. Taurians, earth energy, very much grounded in the present moment. And we've got the Three of Cups. I'm using the Spellcaster deck. That's support. That's the card of support. The base of the pack, we again have that Two of Rods that is showing up, suggesting that within time, you know, there's that old saying, this too shall pass. So whatever your difficulty is at the moment, this too shall pass. And we have the Ten of Swords, the ending of cycles, but also, you know, somebody's taking a downfall here. Somebody who was rooted in the past, somebody whose time is at an end. And of course, we know that card came up, I think in the outcome, was it, or for the Russian president? We're not going to spoil our day and name him. I want to tune into just having been to Lake George and the beauty that is Lake George, the energy, that magical, almost mysterious type of energy. You know, the fact that it's full, it's so rarely full, and the fact that it's full now, I don't think it was full since the late 80s, 1990. It became full again. So that's what, a 20-year cycle ago. And of course, in the 80s, we moved then into the greed of the 90s. The greed is good, Gordon Gekko of the 90s. Wall Street. I think there's a cycle finishing now, and I want to tap into that again with Lake George in mind. What are the messages from the universe? I know so many people, I'm seeing a pathway here leading up through an archway, a different destination. There's light coming through. It's a beautiful destination. I'd take that path. All right, what are the universal energies, please, for the viewers that are in the midst of worry, angst? Let's see, what's the universe showing us, leading us? What pathway are we going down? It's an ascension. It's a pathway that goes up, not down, toward the light, not toward the darkness. Okay, very much clairvoyantly, I see that in my mind at this time. What are the universal energies? It's the Sun card. So we've got the Three of Cups coming together in support, supporting one another. And, you know, I'm also looking at posts where not just Ukrainian refugees, asylum seekers, all asylum seekers from all war-torn countries. Syria just about broke my heart. Yemen breaks my heart. What's going on in parts of Pakistan, around that India-Pakistan region, what was Burma. So much is being highlighted through the Ukrainians, almost like Ukrainians' plight. It's almost like we have to see it visually. Maybe we weren't seeing other genocide, other conflicts. Maybe we'd switched off, you know, in the midst of that greed is good kind of, philosophy or mindset or belief that we had to get ahead at all costs, when really I think this is a wake-up call as to what is really important. We have the Seven of Swords crossing the Three of Cups. So Three of Cups circling, circles of support, supporting one another. And what is crossed here is the thief that comes in the night and steals and plunders and burns and leaves something defenseless. We had to come together through this. I asked for what the universe messages are. We've got the Hermit card. So this is Virgo. We do have I didn't do the astrology of the Virgo moon. Was it a full moon? A full moon in Virgo. Something about reflection and introspection, but a little bit more than that. There's a detailed looking for the pathway forward. A detailed looking for the pathway forward and a recognition of what we have to do in order to get there. So in the past, we have the King of Cups. Now, the King of Cups can be so emotionally nurturing, but the other side of the King of Cups is around manipulation, emotional manipulation. So we're also seeing that wherever it may fall in your life, we're also seeing what is the nurturing and then what is also the manipulative. We'll see that in the narratives as well. The narratives we're getting through the media, the propaganda that's going on in Russia. We do have the Page of Cups. So again, the Page of Cups talks about moving forward. All the pages move forward. moving forward with some kind of emotional insight. Can also be something coming out of the blue and surprising us. That's up in the sky. In the immediate future, we have the Three of Swords. I'm not surprised to see that card here. But the Three of Swords is an energy that once it occurs, you have to move on to the Fours then. And in some cases, that is reunification. It can also be, the Fours can also be standing the ground. Also stepping back because you've been wounded. Whatever the suit is, the Fours talk about part of the journey. And this Three of Swords, the betrayal, finding almost lighting our passion again as well after much heartache and much loss. Now we have the Nine of Wands in the here and now. We are understanding only too well the boundaries that we need to put up and what has imprisoned us, what we need to change, what boundaries we need to erect in order to protect ourselves, because this is about ascension, but it's also about our stability in the very real earthly sense. And of course, why am I not surprised to see the Five of Cups? We need to put our guardrails up, literally. You know, if we had the camp, we would not leave it unguarded, would we? And we're starting to see, literally reaping what we've sown. I mean, Putin's always intended to bring Ukraine to heel. We've known that for some time. So we have here the Emperor in the hopes and fears. This is control. Why are we waking up? Because we are seeing the suffering of others and the loss of control, the lack of control of a country that can upend our lives in the way that the leaders, not Russia, but the leaders of Russia have done. The Emperor card, we are fearing. Look at the flames there behind this Emperor. We are fearing the power or the perceived power of the leadership in one country that can do this to the world, threaten the world. It's very much, you know, I've heard the invasion of Ukraine, because again, words are important. This isn't a war, it's the invasion of Ukraine. Described very much as a battle for good and evil. I'm not sure about concepts of good and evil. I am sure of light and dark, and I see what is occurring here as an ascension, but a very painful one, toward the light. So we have the Seven of Wands. In a way, this Seven of Wands is a victor, because they have stood their ground. They've staked their claim and stood their ground, and they've defended. That's in the outcome. We may be surprised, you know, at the universal. I asked for the universal messages. We may be surprised to see who is the victor here, because it could very well be Ukraine. Eight of Pentacles. And again, this talks about the work that succeeds because of the skill. This is foundational work. This conflict is remaking. The invasion is remaking our world. It's strengthening our world's foundations. We have the Three of Wands. Something will emerge from this. This eagle is free here. And this girl is looking up, letting the eagle soar. Talks about doing the work so that your ship literally can come in, so that you can reap a better future. So in terms of the invasion, I see this very much as remaking the world that we know it. The base of the pack, the Nine of Cups, we do see wish fulfillment, we do see miracles, but we also see the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands, something very, 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 very hard, very difficult. We see the Ten of Pentacles. So, you know, this is the 1990s era bringing me back full circle to Lake George. Again, it was full back in the late 1980s, 1989, 1990, 90s. It was full then, and it's full again now. The Ten of Pentacles, legacies. What legacies have we left? What legacies will we leave? There's so much loss here. Somebody will be the victor and somebody will be the loser. And you know my predictions show that Putin will ultimately lose one way or another. Doesn't matter what he does. He doesn't emerge as the victor. Doesn't matter how many cities he captures. Doesn't matter. He loses. He's not the victor here. But we are all making decisions at this time, which is why I don't have much patience with the narrative, the propaganda that Putin's putting out. And I don't have any patience for the trolling on that. I do have an Instagram account which somebody set up a fake identity, and I just want to make you all aware. I don't do personal readings. If you ever get approached, we've reported and that account's gone now. But a lot of readers are being hit, and I just want to let you know I don't do personal readings. If you're approached by anybody, it's not me, and so you report them, block them and report them. Now, having said that, I do a lot of group work, and that's where I put my energy into these readings and into the collective energies at this time. So I hope that my readings are interesting and of benefit, because I always learn from them along with you. In a way, Marianne's sitting down with you when you're watching these readings and doing just as much learning as what you are. So somehow we're vibing with each other, and we're tapping into the big collective good, the big collective light. So continue to send that light to the earth, healing light, and continue to envisage the light overcoming the dark. And in that process, we get the revelations. All right, thank you for tuning in, and I'll be back with another reading again soon. Hope you have enjoyed this travel vlog, and it gets you out of, just even in your mind, gets you out of that that kind of, hooked onto the mainstream media, and offers something different. From here we go to Gunning, a town called Gunning. I'll see if I can shoot some more footage when we come to something interesting. And thank you for joining me on this lovely Sunday drive. I'm certainly benefiting from it. Thank you. So we've just stopped at still at Gundaroo, and my husband Eric managed to get some history of this barbecue plate here. The children of Gundaroo hand painted these tiles some 34 years ago, and you can just see how lovely it is. So, the parents come back here, and that's how we got the information, pointing out which tile that their daughter made. So it kind of seems fitting to see the world created, the happiness of the world that was created in this art by the kids of this region. So we've got the tree, and it says, I can't even read it, old wares open. Got houses here. We've got dogs and we've got rainbows. Really lovely.
Alice White.
Alice White.
And the dog name was Tiffany.
And the dog's name was Tiffany. There you go. Preserved for posterity, literally. Okay, what else have we got here? We've got roads. pathways. A lot of trees and a lot of land. Isn't that lovely? On our way from Gundaroo to Gunning. Look at that sky. Any of my Australian viewers would know that blue skies are very welcome at the moment. Many of our communities are recovering after floods, and we just haven't seen or had a break in the weather. So here are the blue skies for us. We're coming into Gunning right now. So Gunning is a little town around about 260 kilometres southwest of Sydney and about 75 kilometres from Canberra, our nation's capital. It's nearby Gundaroo and of course in the vicinity of Lake George. This is where we ended our little trip after visiting the lake, stopping off at that beautiful village of Gundaroo, and finally into Gunning. Gunning has a population of 659 people in the last census, and it has also a wind farm, a huge wind farm there as well, which is visible from the Hume Highway if ever you're visiting our region. We ended up stopping off at the local pub here and ordering some burgers, and then I drove for the remainder of the journey up through the Culleran Ranges. All in all, we arrived home feeling so much better than what we did when we started out.